You've been lied to about manifesting your dream life. They told you it takes endless rituals, robotic affirmations, and a constant battle to stay high vibe. But what if I told you that real manifestation, quantum manifestation, is brutally simple? So simple that almost everyone is doing it wrong. Right now, you're swimming inside a quantum field, an infinite sea of possibilities that doesn't bend to your effort, but to your alignment. And yet, most people treat manifestation like a war. They try to bulldoze their reality with brute force. They chant affirmations they don't even believe. They daydream about outcomes they secretly think are impossible. They fake positivity while their nervous system is drowning in fear, scarcity, and doubt. That's why everything collapses. Because in the quantum, forcing equals resistance. Let's cut the fluff. Quantum manifestation isn't about begging for what you want. It's about collapsing into the version of reality where it already exists. It's not about fixing the outside world first. It's about transmitting the inner frequency that drags that world straight to you, inside the quantum field. Everything already lives. Wealth and poverty, love and heartbreak, health and illness. They're all probabilities waiting in suspension. But here's the plot. Twist the wave never becomes your reality until a conscious observer collapses it. That observer is you. Your focus, your emotions, your energy, they carve reality itself. The problem: most people stay stuck in a broken loop. They observe from fear, they fixate on what's missing, and they broadcast the frequency of lack while begging for abundance. In the quantum, that isn't a signal, it's static. And you've been programmed to confuse chasing with creating. The real secret of manifestation isn't chasing, it's becoming the version of you who doesn't need to. It's stepping into the identity that knows, I'm already woven into the life I desire. The field isn't ignoring you, it's just waiting for a clear signal. Your job isn't to grind harder, it's to stop sending mixed frequencies. So why don't most people get this? Because simplicity feels threatening. Because letting go feels unsafe. Because surrendering feels like weakness. But here's the paradox, nobody dares to say out loud. The second you stop grasping so desperately, the field finally has space to give it to you. Think back to a moment when life handed you something effortlessly. Maybe you bumped into the exact person you needed. Maybe an opportunity landed in your lap when you weren't even looking. Or maybe the best idea of your life hit you when you weren't trying at all. What was the common thread? You weren't clinging. You weren't forcing. You were available. That's quantum manifestation in motion, whether you knew it or not. Because the quantum doesn't care about the pretty words you say. It reads the frequency you broadcast. You can repeat, I am wealthy 10,000 times, but if your body is still wired for fear, if your heart is still pulsing scarcity, if your nervous system is addicted to the drama of struggle, the field has no choice but to mirror that chaos right back. Not out of punishment, but because it's ruthlessly precise. And here's the radical pivot. Quantum manifestation begins when you stop obsessing over getting and start mastering being. You don't just ask, you become. You don't just affirm, you embody. You let your state do the heavy lifting instead of your effort. But this sparks the question that most manifestation gurus dodge. What exactly does the field respond to? Is it thought alone, emotion, belief, action? And how do you synchronize those layers so you're not broadcasting static instead of signal? This is the crack in most manifestation teachings. They slice off one piece, usually thoughts or feelings. and ignore the full alignment that actually collapses reality. They sell you positivity like a band-aid. Think happier, they say. Visualize harder, while leaving the real wreckage untouched. The trauma lodged in your muscles. The childhood scripts running on repeat. The subconscious that sabotages your next move. They teach surface tricks. Imagine abundance. Repeat success lines. Act like you've already won, but skip the hardest part. Clearing the deep noise your body keeps broadcasting. The quantum doesn't fall for slogans. It listens to the whole message, the integrated, embodied signal. Alignment isn't a thinking exercise. It's a full body, whole system shift. So here's the part most teachers avoid. Your nervous system is a stubborn editor. It will rewrite your best intentions if you haven't healed the parts of you that expect failure. Visualizing without clearing old programming is like planting seeds on poisoned soil. Affirming without calming the biology is like shouting into a storm. The field reads the pattern, not the pep talk. That's why so many manifestations fizzle, not because the method failed, but because the messenger is broken. Next, we're going to dismantle the mystery and show the elegant mechanics behind what looks like magic. We'll unpack why the observer effect matters, exactly what wave collapse means, and how your subconscious keeps broadcasting even when your mouth says something else. I'll expose the structural fault lines the gurus never mention, the subtle sabotage, the body memory, the emotional lag, and how they distort the signal before it ever reaches the field. Here's a brutal question to sit with as we move forward. Where are you trying so hard that your effort has become the obstacle? Where have you been polishing the surface while the foundations rot? The quantum field isn't responding to your wish list. It's responding to your coherence. At its core, quantum manifestation isn't thought only, emotion only, or action only. It's the alignment of all three into one clean broadcast the field can read without distortion. Picture the field as a cosmic translator. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions speak the same language, the message is crisp and the field answers quickly. But when your head wants one thing, your heart another, and your body does something else entirely, the message scrambles. The field mirrors chaos back, not clarity. That's where the observer effect comes in. The moment your attention becomes a sculptor of probability. And next, we'll learn how to make your attention a precision instrument, not a noisy megaphone at the quantum level. Particles don't sit around as fixed objects. They exist as pure potential waves of probability, waiting. But the second an observer locks in on a possibility, that wave collapses. Reality crystallizes. Choices harden. The unseen becomes visible. Here's the part that flips everything. The observer isn't just your conscious mind. The real observer, the one with the louder voices, your subconscious. So even if you consciously scream for abundance, if your subconscious is wired for fear, for survival, for scarcity, guess what the field listens to? That hidden broadcast. Your subconscious becomes the real director, collapsing you into timelines you'd never consciously choose. This is why people feel trapped. They polish the surface mind while ignoring the deeper code running the show. And in the quantum game, the subconscious always wins. But it doesn't stop there. Researchers like Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton point out something even wilder. Your heart carries an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than your brain's. That field doesn't just sit inside you, it radiates outward, colliding with the quantum field around you. When your heart and brain move in coherence, your signal hits the field like a laser. But when they're out of sync, the signal fractures, weakens. and the field reflects back confusion. This is the trap most people fall into. They try to manifest from the head alone. They think they can outthink the field, but without the emotional frequency, without the felt sense of alignment, the quantum has no clear signal to mirror. That's why so many vision boards, affirmations, and positive thoughts crash and burn. Because the body still isn't on board. The heart is clenched, the breath is shallow, the nervous system is braced for impact. The field isn't reading your words, it's reading your frequency. Take love as an example. You can chant affirmations, stack vision boards, and script your dream partner every night. But if deep down you're still carrying wounds of rejection, if your nervous system expects abandonment, if your heart is locked behind armor, the field feels that. What it gives you back isn't love, it's longing. Endless searching, almost but not quite connections that break before they begin. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it mirrors exactly what you broadcast most consistently. So what's the shift? The shift is coherence. Not someday, not after you get it, but now. It's practicing the emotions of already having what you desire. It's teaching your body, your breath, your choices to live from the frequency of wholeness. Because the field doesn't bend to your wish list, it collapses to the state you embody. Collapses to the state you embody. You don't wait for the timeline to appear. You collapse into it. You embody the frequency first, and the form has no choice but to follow. And while that sounds heavy, the truth is shockingly simple. The less you grip outcomes, the faster the quantum delivers. This is why I said from the beginning, it's simple, but almost nobody does it. Because the human mind hates simplicity. It wants formulas, hacks, guaranteed steps. But the quantum isn't a vending machine. It's not mechanical, it's alive. It's responsive. It's intelligent, and it mirrors you in real time. The question is, can you meet it with a steady, embodied signal? So let's cut through the noise. Take a breath right now. Feel your body. Notice the tension you're holding, the stories looping in the background. And just for this moment, let it loosen. Drop the need to control, to fix, to strategize every outcome. This is where your power starts, not in chasing change, but in feeling whole before change arrives. And if this hits something inside you, if it sparks recognition, step into the practice with me. Hit subscribe, join the conversation, and drop one word in the comments that names the energy you're claiming this week. Trust, ease, joy, whatever. Rises first, that's your broadcast. The moment you name it, you align with it. That's the signal the field reads. But now, let's face the uncomfortable truth. Why do so many people still fail at manifestation, even with all the books, gurus, and endless YouTube advice? Because surrender feels dangerous. The human mind is addicted to control. We've been conditioned to believe struggle equals worth, that suffering earns results, that the grind proves we're deserving. So when we meet quantum manifestation, a system built on alignment and surrender, rich short circuits our programming. Instead of softening, we tighten our grip. This is what I call the control trap. People visualize wealth, but obsessively check their bank accounts with fear. They script love stories, but stalk dating apps, begging for a text. They affirm health, but scan their bodies for symptoms in panic. And every act of control is a loud broadcast to the field. I don't trust it. I don't have it. I'm still in lack. That's why they stay stuck. Not because manifestation doesn't work, but because they're transmitting the exact opposite of what they claim to want. Every morning, Millions of people unknowingly send the same distorted message to the field. They affirm abundance with their words, but radiate mistrust with their energy. They chant positivity while their subconscious screams survival. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The quantum doesn't care about your language, it speaks only in energy. And energy never lies. You can rehearse the perfect affirmations, but if your nervous system is wired for loss, if your thoughts cycle doubt, if your body is dripping with stress hormones, the field tunes into that frequency, not your scripted one. This is why so many people are drained. They're doing all the right things, but doing them from panic, hypervigilance, scarcity, and so they stay stuck in an exhausting loop, manifesting more waiting, more striving, more searching. Why? Because their signal isn't, I already have. Their signal is, I'm still trying to get. And the field mirrors exactly that. Here's the part that most coaches won't admit. Your subconscious is running 95% of your life. It's the autopilot behind your habits, your triggers, your identity. You might consciously beg for a breakthrough, but if your subconscious story is still, I'm not enough, nothing ever works, or I have to fight for everything, the wave collapses into the same old stale outcome. This is why affirmations without embodiment feel fake. Why visualizations without nervous system regulation fizzle out. Why action without an aligned identity burns you out. So what's the real shift? It's realizing quantum manifestation isn't a side hustle trick you sprinkle on top of life. It's a complete recalibration of your system. It's not adding, it's remembering. It's about stepping into the version of you who already lives in the timeline you crave before it shows up in the physical world. Want abundance? You practice abundance, now, not later, not when the deposit hits. You treat yourself with generosity today. You embody trust instead of micromanaging outcomes. Want love? You stop chasing validation and start becoming the partner you'd want to meet. You soften, you open, you live as if you are already enough because you are. Want health? You quit obsessing over what's wrong and start nurturing what's right. You shift out of survival mode and embody vitality before the evidence arrives. That's the paradox. When you stop waiting for proof, proof rushes in. You cultivate resilience. You practice gratitude for the body you have, while gently guiding it toward more vitality. And here's the paradox that flips everything. The moment you stop needing it so desperately, it arrives faster. Not because the universe is testing you or playing games, but because you are no longer resistance itself. Ask yourself this: where in your life are you still gripping the steering wheel with white-knuckled control? Where are you measuring, tracking, forcing, and chasing outcomes that aren't yours to command? What would shift if you loosened your grip by just 10%? Pause on that. This isn't passivity. It's a radical move from control to co-creation, a subtle, revolutionary shift where quantum manifestation actually begins to function. Next, we'll dive into the rarely practiced, yet profoundly simple techniques that realign your system, regulate your state, and make you a clear, unmissable signal to the quantum field. You'll learn how to dissolve resistance without bypassing your real emotions, how to earn the trust of your subconscious, and how to step fully into the timeline you desire as though it's already yours. But here's the part almost no one teaches, the hidden truth buried in plain sight. You don't manifest what you want to manifest, who you are. This isn't a feel-good platitude. It's a principle that governs the very way the quantum field interacts with you. The field doesn't respond to your vision boards, your affirmations, or even your intentions. It responds to the vibrational signature of your being, the frequency you radiate in every thought, every breath, every interaction. And that frequency isn't created by doing it, created by being. Think of it like a radio. If you want jazz, you don't demand it while the dial is still set to heavy metal. You tune the station, you adjust the frequency. Quantum manifestation works the same way. You cannot pull in the life you desire while broadcasting the vibration of the life you're trying to escape. So, how do you adjust the dial? Start by noticing your current frequency. Not just your thoughts, your emotions, your posture, the way your body moves through the day. How does your energy flow? Where are you still stuck in fear, tension, or expectation? Awareness is the first step in rewriting the broadcast that shapes your reality. What stories are looping in your mind right now? How does your body react when stress hits? Most people aren't manifesting consciously, they're running on autopilot, recycling the same states, the same reactions, the same energetic broadcasts. And the field, it mirrors those back perfectly, without judgment. Real change begins not with force or frantic effort, but with small, embodied practices. It can be as subtle as a conscious breath in a moment of anxiety, as gentle as placing a hand on your heart when self-doubt starts spinning out, or as bold as asking, what would the version of me who already has this do right now? And then taking one tiny action from that place. Because here's what nobody admits: the quantum doesn't care about perfection. It only responds to coherence. Coherence happens when thoughts, emotions, and actions align. When you stop saying one thing, feeling another, and doing something else entirely. When your whole system hums with a single, unified signal. Even briefly, that state creates a gravitational pull in the field, and reality starts to bend toward you. Here's the practical side. Want to embody abundance? Practice generosity, not just with money, but with your attention, your time, your energy. Train your nervous system to feel enough, even if your bank account hasn't caught up yet. Want to embody love? Practice vulnerability. Open your heart in small, courageous ways. Become the safe, nurturing space you're longing to find in someone else. Want to embody health? Practice presence. Listen to your body. Move it, feed it, rest it, from respect, not punishment. From respect, not punishment. It's simple, but few walk this path because it demands going first, becoming the frequency before the evidence arrives, leading with being, not needing. And here's where most people get stuck. Emotional regulation. Manifestation isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about feeling real all the time and learning to realign your system when it wobbles. That means welcoming fear, frustration, and doubt without letting them drive the car. It means practicing emotional fluency so you can navigate the waves without drowning in them. Here's the truth you rarely hear. You will wobble, you will doubt. You will have days when the old timeline tugs at your heels, and that's okay. The power isn't in never falling, it's in how you return. Right now, take a breath. Notice where you are. Ask yourself, which timeline am I tuned in to this moment? Fear or trust? Lack or abundance? Waiting or arrival? No judgment, just notice. Because awareness itself creates a choice point, and choice is the gateway to coherence. Next, we'll pull it all together. You'll see how to turn these insights into a living practice, how to navigate setbacks with grace, and how to sustain the frequency that collapses your dream timeline into reality. But before we move on, I want to acknowledge you. If something inside you is lighting up, if you're feeling seen, if a shift is already happening, hit subscribe. Join this space, this conversation, this community. And in the comments, drop a single word that captures your intention right now. Maybe allow, maybe expand, maybe flow. That word becomes your signal to the field. Here's the final, most important piece. Manifestation is not a performance. It's a practice. It's not mastered once. It's lived moment by moment, choice by choice. Too many people get trapped in the myth that manifestation is about doing more, perfecting the formula, hacking the system. But the most powerful they're not the ones with the most techniques. They're the ones who know how to hold a coherent state and return to alignment whenever life shakes them. Because, here's the hard truth, moments will test you. Fear will creep in. Old patterns will whisper. The timeline you're leaving behind will try to pull you back. And the temptation, control, push, force, micromanage. But mastery isn't about pushing. It's about holding the frequency of trust before the evidence shows up. It's about vibrating as if it's already done, even when the world looks unchanged. It's about anchoring so firmly in the new timeline that the old one no longer seduces you. Here's the practical part. Every morning before you check your phone, take a few breaths and ask, what frequency am I tuning into today? Scarcity or abundance? Fear or trust? Control or flow? Throughout your day, use your body as your compass. The tension, the tightness, the contraction, they're signals you've slipped out of alignment. No shame, no spiraling. Just notice, breathe, recalibrate. Ask yourself, what would the version of me living in my desired timeline choose right now? And act from that place. Then take one small action from that aligned place. And at night, before sleep, replay your day not with judgment, but with curiosity. Where did you wobble? Where did you align? Where did you catch a glimpse of your own power? Gratitude amplifies coherence. Even the smallest wins deserve acknowledgement. Here's what most people overlook. Community matters. We are social, energetic beings. We coagulate with those around us. Surround yourself with people practicing coherence, experimenting in the quantum field, committed to embodiment, and your system will train to that vibration. That's why curating your environment isn't just about physical space, it's energetic. Seek voices, spaces, and communities that remind you who you're becoming. Let your external world support your internal practice. And remember, there's no finish line. The goal isn't to arrive and stop. It's to live inside a continuous unfolding, to be the living edge of your evolution, to not just manifest things, but to become someone who lives as a creator, a conscious participant in shaping reality. Here's the most beautiful truth. The quantum field isn't separate from you. It's not something to manipulate from afar. You are entangled with it. You are the field, the wave, the observer and the observed. When you tune your frequency, you aren't asking life to meet you, you are becoming the version of life you've been seeking. I want to leave you with this invitation. In the comments, drop a single word that captures the energy you're choosing to carry forward after this video. Maybe it's alignment, maybe ease, maybe power, or something uniquely yours. Let that word be a small but profound declaration, a quantum seed planted in yourself. And if this video sparked something in you, a shift, a remembering, a spark, this isn't just a channel. It's a living space, a gathering of minds and hearts ready to step into their own creative power. When you subscribe, you're not just joining a list, you're joining a movement, reshaping what's possible. Thank you for walking this journey with me, for your presence, attention, and energy. You are not just a viewer, you are a participant in this unfolding. Keep tuning, keep aligning, keep playing in the field. Keep playing in the field.